from an Oregon perspective, incredible year. Dan Lanning, incredible job. 48-8. Are you kidding me? He's 48-8 as a head coach at Oregon. Chip Kelly was 46-7, the GOAT of Oregon Ducks football in my eyes. He was 46-7. Dan Lanning's 48-8. You got to a semifinal this year. You won the Big Ten last year. You're basically running the Big Ten. You only lost to Indiana barely in regulation this year. Otherwise, you would have made it back to the title game. Like, incredible job. I think Oregon fans should be over the moon that Dan Lanning is your head coach. I mean, just over the moon. The D-line's coming back. Dante Moore in all likelihood's coming back. A couple of running backs will be back. A couple of receivers will be back. Pierce, my boy, said that next year will be the best wide receiver group in Oregon football history. Might be true. If Decorian Moore will be back, if Evan Stewart comes back, couple of those other guys. I saw a couple of them are transferring, but and Kenyon Sadiq's probably gone, but Jamar Johnson, great tight end, caught a nice touchdown pass in this game to tie things up at 7. Great response early in the game by Dante Moore, by the way, to after the pick 6 to lead him down the field for an eventual touchdown. Really nice touchdown throw too, 19-yard throw, really good throw. Before things continued down to the disastrous path. It looked like Oregon was bouncing back for a second, but I think if you're Oregon, you go great season, amazing season, 13 wins. 14, by the way, would have been the most in school history in a single season. So you get close to that. You finish 13-2. So what were they? They were 13-1 last year. So they're 26-3 the last 2 years. It's unreal. Almost everyone would be extremely jealous of that record. So period, hard stop. Incredible season. Future's incredibly bright. Lanning's off to an unbelievable start at 48-8. I think you extend Lanning. He's been that great. He has been that great, period. He is so good. Obviously, you got a little bit of personnel issues to deal with Will Stein going to Kentucky and Tosh Lupoy going to Cal and probably taking a lot of those defensive players with him to Cal. But that's part of the game, baby. Nick Saban just rolled him in. I mean, it was an assembly line for Saban. Cool, you got a head coaching job, new OC. Stay here for a year or two, you're going to get a head coaching job. OC, stay here for a year or two, you're going to get a head coaching job. So it'll probably be like that in Eugene. But anyways, Lanning, incredible. Oregon season, incredible, period. Some really high highs, right? Like, winning at Iowa, I don't care that it was an ugly game. 18-16, Dante Moore's throw to Malik Benson down the stretch. Incredible. Atticus Sappington, ASAP, big kick. At the time, the Penn State game was a great win. And by the way, I still believe that was a great win because that was a Penn State team playing fully healthy, obviously with a fully intact coaching staff, white out at home. Everyone had been prepping for that game all off season long. 100 large on hand, dressed in all white, like night game, insane environment. Dante Moore, cool as a cucumber. Incredible overtime period from Dante Moore. Like, that was another great highlight for the season, right? What are some others? I guess dismantling USC is a good highlight, even though that was expected. Winning at Washington, not an easy thing to do. Washington had a really solid defense this year, really solid defense. Sketchy QB situation, sketchy offense, sketchy head coach, but good place, really tough place to play. Obviously a rivalry game, a lot on the line, and you go in there and you beat him. And it was 19-14 late, and then Dante delivers a beautiful ball to Malik Benson over the middle, who houses it. And again, you're playing all of November without a couple of your key weapons, including Decorian Moore. Sadiq's banged up. So plenty of awesome highlights from this season for Oregon. All of that to say, when you get blown out 2 years in a row in the postseason, not even in the Natty, that's also a tough pill to swallow because you're a program, a team, a program, a coaching staff, a fan base that expects to win the national championship at some point. It's not Bama level where you're like, where's my ring? It's not LSU level where you're like, if you don't win a ring here in 4 or 5 years, you're getting fired. But it's close in the sense that it's modern college football. If Indiana wins a ring, it's like, hey, let's build towards that. Now, Oregon having never, ever, ever won a college football national championship, I still don't think the expectations are as high. I always talk about like the pressure cooker. The SEC, dude, that is one giant freaking pressure cooker. Oregon, Not as much. Ohio State, pressure cooker. Michigan, pressure cooker. Those are two of the winningest programs in the history of the sport with recent natties. Oregon, you've never won a natty, and prior to 2000, you didn't win a ton, period. So I don't think it's as big of a pressure cooker as people think. Now, there still is a lot of pressure to be great. Like, the baseline requirement should be make the playoffs, and if you don't make the playoffs one year, make it the next year. If you go 2 years in a row without making the playoff, your ass is probably gone. But it's not crazy hard to do that when you have a massive talent advantage over most teams in the Big Ten. And anyways, I just think that, getting blown out 2 years in a row, it's a tough pill to swallow, man. If you would have told me before the season, hey, Oregon's going to win 13 games, blow out Texas Tech in the quarters, that's a huge win. By the way, among the Oregon highlights, that's a huge win too. Shutting out, like giving another team a donut in the playoffs, that's big time from the defense right there. That is big time from the Oregon defense. But then, you get blown out. It's tough when you look forward like, we still have that taste in our mouth of, man, Ohio State last year beat them at Autzen, but then they blew you out at the Rose Bowl. Indiana this year hung with them at Autzen, won all of your other games. You only lost to one team this year. You lost to Indiana. That is it. You beat every other team on your schedule. But it ends in a blowout, and that's I think that's tough, man. That's tough. So I think Oregon fans have the right. What I'm getting at is Oregon fans have the right to feel. I mean, it's Monday. We're less than, what are we? We're a little over 48 hours, less than 72 hours from the blowout loss. Like, dude, you have the right to feel defeated and angry and sad and needing to go to therapy and hopefully you're optimistic, but you also have the right to feel not as optimistic at the moment after another blowout. Like, just let it breathe, man. You got to heal. We're in the stages of grief. What do they call it? The 5 stages of grief. We're still in the time where we're trying to heal. We're trying to acknowledge what the hell just happened. Because for 2 postseasons in a row, when it looks like you don't belong on the same field as your opponent, that's a tough feeling, man. It just is. And it's okay to acknowledge that. Like I said, moving forward, though, I think you have to be extremely high on Dan. I think Dante has a ton of room to grow, and you have to give him that grace and give him that room to grow. I think he can. No one will be supporting or rooting for Dante harder than Oregon fans will this upcoming year. The Raiola thing is interesting that he's in your back pocket. It'd be really weird if Dante just all of a sudden said, you know what, I'm out of here. I would be shocked. Again, this is being taped on January 12th at noon. So he has a couple more days, I think till the 16th to decide maybe. It's, you got every right to feel the way you feel, Oregon fans. You do. But you got the right head coach. That's for sure. And what a season. Honestly, a season. Like, A+, of course, would have been to win the Natty, but an A season, man. An A season.